kindergarten. Today you're going to listen to a story called The Wolf and the Seven Little Kids. We're going to get started, as we usually do, with our vocabulary. So the first word we have to know is bleated. Bleated means cried out, and it's made the sound of a goat or a sheep. So a goat or a sheep will often bleat. So the word is bleated, cry out like a goat or a sheep. Our next word is disguise. And I have that very silly picture up for disguise because to disguise is to make oneself look like someone or something else. So if you wear a hat and glasses and a fake mustache, you can kind of hide who you really are and put on a disguise. Our next word is kids. We all know the word kids and that it means children, but kids are also young baby goats, like the one in the picture right here that's so cute. Then we have miller. A miller is the person who works in a mill and makes flour. This is a picture of a flour mill, and the miller would be someone who works there who makes flour. And last but not least, we have terrified. Terrified is very scared. So if you look at this man's face right there, he looks so terrified. He's shaking and his teeth are clenched because he's really scared. Alrighty, kindergarten. Today's story is a little bit different from all of the other ones that we've listened to so far. Stories are often created from people's imaginations, like we've talked about. But have you ever had someone tell you a story not reading a book? Has anyone ever told you a story that comes straight from their brain, from their memory? Maybe they're telling you about something that they were told when they were little. Today you're going to hear a folk tale. A folk tale is different from the kinds of stories that are in lots of children's books because folk tales are stories that are passed down from person to person orally, so by word of mouth, instead of being written down. So for example, a grandma might tell a story to her grandchildren using her memory, and then those children might tell that story to their children, who will then give it to their children. So that's how folk tales are passed down. So today I'm going to tell you a story, and maybe you'll pass it down and tell the same story to someone else. That would be pretty cool if you ask me. And what is also cool is that pretty much every culture in the world, so every nation and group of people, has its own folk tales that are different. And it wasn't until pretty recently that some of these stories were written down. Now remember, just like the other stories we've been reading, folk tales are fiction, so they're made up. And in today's folk tale, you're going to hear a story about a wolf who really just tries to become friends with a family of goats. Okay, so listen up to hear how the wolf and the baby goats, or kids, become friends. Alrighty, here we go. There was once a mother goat who had 7 little kids, and she loved them as well as any mother has ever loved her children. Remember, kids are baby goats. One day she gathered her 7 children around her and said, "Dear children, I must go into the forest to get food for us to eat. While I am away, do not open the door for anyone, especially the wolf. You will always know him by his rough voice and by the dark fur of his paws." "Don't worry, Mother," said the kids. "We will take good care of ourselves." So the mother goat bleated goodbye and went on her way with a calm mind. Meanwhile, the wolf was all alone in the forest. He never had anyone to play with, as all the other animals were really scared of him. This made him quite sad. But he thought maybe if the 7 kids just got to know him, then they would want to play with him. So the wolf decided he would disguise himself in order to get the kids to give him a chance. What do you see in this picture? Soon there came a knock at the door, and a voice called out, "Open the door, my dear children. Your mother is back and has brought you each something." But oh, what a rough voice. The kids thought surely it must be too soon for their mother to be back. "No, we won't open the door," cried the kids. "Our mother has a sweet, gentle voice, and your voice is rough. You must be the wolf." So the kids went on playing, feeling very proud of themselves. The wolf felt very sad, for he could not help that his voice was rough. He ran off to a store where he bought a big lump of a special kind of chalk, which he ate to make his voice soft. Then he came back and knocked at the door and called out in a gentle voice, "Open the door, my dear children. Your mother is back and has brought you each something." The wolf felt for sure that this time the kids would open the door and he could prove to them that he was actually a very nice wolf. What do you see in the picture? Who's at the door? And how can you tell? But the poor wolf had put his paws against the window and the kids could see his dark gray fur. "No, we won't open the door," cried the kids. "Our mother's feet do not have dark gray fur. You must be the wolf." Again, the kids went on playing, feeling even prouder that they had identified the wolf by his paws. Again, the poor wolf felt sad, for he could not help that his fur was dark gray. And so he ran to a baker. A baker is someone who makes and sells bread and cakes. "Baker," he said, "please spread some dough over my paws." Look at how silly. And when the baker had coated his paws with dough, the wolf went to the miller. And a miller is a person who works at a mill and makes flour. "Miller," he said, "please sprinkle some white flour over my paws." Now the wolf's feet looked just like the mother goat's. The wolf thought for sure this time the kids would open the door, so he could show them what a nice and fun wolf that he was. For a third time, the wolf went to the door, knocked, and said in a gentle voice, "Open the door, my dear children. Your mother is back and has brought you each something." The wolf was almost smiling. He was so excited to play with the kids. "First, show us your feet," said the kids. And the wolf put his white flour-covered paws against the window. "Yes, this must be your dear mother," said the kids, and they opened the door. Why do the kids think that it's their mother? In pounced the wolf, ready to play. The terrified kids tried to hide because they did not know that the wolf was actually nice. Remember, terrified means very, very scared. The first ran under the table. The second crawled under the bed. The third hid under the rug. The fourth ran into the kitchen. The fifth jumped into the cupboard. The sixth ran under a tub. And the seventh climbed inside a big grandfather clock. The wolf thought the kids must be playing a great game of hide and seek. He thought if he found them all, the kids would finally want to play with him. So the wolf found them all that is, except the youngest, who was hiding in the grandfather clock. The other kids were so scared that when the wolf found them, they passed out asleep. The kids are afraid of the wolf because they don't know that he's actually a nice wolf who just wants to play. They think that he's going to do something really bad and mean. The wolf was so scared that the other animals would blame him, so he took the kids into the forest to wait for them to wake up. The wolf, tired from all the excitement, strolled into the forest, lay down under a tree, and fell asleep into a deep sleep next to all the 6 sleeping kids. A short while later, the mother goat came home, and quite a sight met her eyes. The door stood wide open. Tables and chairs were thrown all about. Dishes were broken. Quilts and pillows were torn off the bed. She called out for her children, but they were nowhere to be found. She called each one again by name, but no one answered until she called the name of the youngest kid. Oh, look at what a mess it is. "Here I am, Mother," a little voice cried. "Here inside the big grandfather clock." The mother goat helped her youngest child out of the clock. Now the youngest kid was quite sensitive and had realized that the wolf thought the kids were playing a game of hide and seek. So if you're sensitive, you understand the feelings of others. He had told his mother so, and they went off into the forest to find the other kids and the wolf and explain the misunderstanding. There they saw the wolf, fast asleep under a tree, snoring so hard that he shook the branches. Then the mother goat saw the rest of her kids sleeping there, hidden behind the big wolf. "Dear me," she thought, "how peaceful they are sleeping." No sooner had she had the thought than one by one her little kids, and finally the wolf woke up. When the kids woke up, they saw their dear mother and the youngest brother smiling at them, and they instantly felt happy. Their mother told them that the poor wolf was actually a kind animal who just wanted to play, and they all danced around celebrating their newfound friendship with the wolf. Now that they understand each other, the kids and the wolf can be great friends. All right, kindergarten, get ready to talk about this story with Mr. Malcolm and click on that exit ticket below to go on Seesaw.